Well done. Excellent. Questions from the panel?
Well, I liked your conclusion. But what I would say is that what you're talking about faces everything from tech to anything, and it is a definition of crowdsourcing almost, and it is a very distributed. I'm not so sure that you've created enough of a portal or gateway to make it unique enough for people to actually come there instead of do what everybody's doing these days, which is on a distributed basis, pulling it together themselves.
Yeah, if I could just build on that, I think you know, a company called Slice the Pie that we've helped get some funding have a product they just released called Sound Out. And the reason why I think that works and it's going to be successful is it catches the artist when they're trying to raise funding, right? So if this, as I understand what you're doing, it's in a reactive or passive, you know, I'm sitting there, I really like music and I kind of want to know stuff. And that, I think you need to catch them when they're trying to do something and there's an event or an activity or transaction, and then the delivery of the data becomes relevant to them getting something done, getting financing as an artist to take an album to market. So it feels a little bit flux, it feels a little bit fluid, and I think, well, when would I, oh, it becomes a nice to have, and you never want to be a nice to have. You need to be a need to have product.
Okay, perhaps I communicated it badly. So the big problem with a lot of music startups is they try and take on the business model from an artist perspective, and that isn't big enough to try and solve the economic model that surrounds music. So what we're trying to do is create a consumer-based proposition that then artists can feed into the back of and therefore build upon. So there are two distinct uses, just to address your question. There are two distinct uses for the way that you might engage with some of the content that exists on our site as far as a consumer proposition is concerned. One of them is specific to people who passively engage with music. Mm-hmm. In 5 seconds or less, you can find out what's going on in the world of music from our homepage. That's pretty compelling if you're disengaged, perhaps a bit more grown up. The other thing you can do is you can pick up one RSS feed and never miss a single thing that your favorite artist does, or you can pick up content. You can pick up content from us via the API to make sure that you build propositions on the back of that to make sure that you never miss anything based on a playlist that you might have built, or something that's specific to specific artists, and therefore, if you're engaged with, say, one particular band, you might decide that you never want to miss that stuff again.
Okay, any further feedback?
Yeah, just one. I think actually it is a communication problem. I think that your product and your service may very well be fantastic. I think your presentation of it sucked. And so I think that what you need to do, I mean that in a nice way, of course, but I think you have a proposition that is intended to appeal to individuals. And yet you in no way tried to sell me as an individual on how it might appeal to me. Now, I like music, and I suspect I'm now going to actually, despite the fact that you did a bad presentation, I'm now going to go to your site and use it because I have a passion for certain types of music. I want to see how much I can get. So somewhere in there I found your value proposition, but you made me look for it. And thus, that's not good, because as a service you may be great. As a business, it calls it into question. So throw away all these slides and start with, why are the users going to come? Show me why the users are going to come. And then we can build business models on the back of that. Popularity is in of itself a good start. Twitter is a perfect example of a non-business model, very successful startup. So they do exist.
Okay, thanks.
Final points.
I just want to build on that. You know, in a 2-minute pitch, you can't really spend half of that or 3/4 talking about trends. And this is a sophisticated audience, and I think everyone knew what you were getting at. So show the product much quicker, get people excited about it. As Fred said, get pulses racing. The other issue I had was, you know, there's 4 different revenue streams there you're looking at. Investors are going to think you just don't know where to place your bets. So I'd focus on one and go deep on that. It's all right to place a few bets, but do you have a gut feeling where the bulk of the revenue is going to come from?
Yeah, it's a publisher solution. So effectively, we can build a consumer model and try and build some money out of advertising, but it's a suppressed market. So what we're going to try and do is build some money out of the publisher solution, so you can backfill if you're interested in publishing music content. Then you've got the opportunity to do that.
Okay. One last thing. Can someone else?
Yeah, one more.
So AQA, any question answered, launched something yesterday called AQA2U, which is a mobile publishing platform. And it's going to be a mobile Twitter. And I think it's really going to give Twitter a run for its money because they figured out a lot of things. And they have a business model, and I think you should talk to them because there's a very interesting connection about, and they've got an audience and so forth, that there's an opportunity with AQA2U.
Okay,
thank you very much.
And if you don't know them already, grab Ian right there.
We know him.
Thank you very much, Gig.
Yeah, hi everybody. My name is Stefan Richter. I'm the founder of Muchos Media Limited. We're a web development company based in the Midlands. And today I'd like to introduce you Scribbler.com. So Scribbler is a real-time enabled collaboration tool that's targeted at the online learning market. The online learning market itself is booming at the moment. There are many startups who've received a lot of funding recently, and I think it's as a result of that that I've seen increased demand for a tool like Scribbler. This is what it looks like, the nuts and bolts of it. So basically it's a real-time enabled whiteboard where you can collaborate with other people. You've got text chat, audio chat, you can upload images, annotate them, and so on. The whole system was built with, well, that's the homepage, but you can check that out yourself. The whole system was built with sort of two goals that I had in mind. One, make it really simple to use for the end users, because if it works for them, then it's, you know, we're sort of halfway there. The other part was make it easy to co-brand and integrate into existing websites and white label the whole system, because that's what customers were asking for. On the free front, these are the stats for the free version, Scribbler.com. We're pushing about 400 to 500 sessions a day there. On the customer side, I've got several customers signed up and paying for it already. This is one of them. They've tried many other tools and then settled for my solution, my web application. The business model is quite simple. I charge for the API use and the white label version, and maybe in the future there's an opportunity to introduce some premium features as well on the free front, on the free Scribbler.com website. I'm well qualified to build this kind of web application. I've been building Flash applications for about 12 years now, real-time enabled ones for about 7 years. I've spoken at a lot of conferences, but never at one like this, only to techies before. By coincidence, I've also got a quote on this month's .NET magazine, even on the cover. I've got a lot of good clients as well that are unfortunately still have to work with to kind of, you know, fund the product development. And today I'm really looking to meet potential business partners and investors, help me build a team, iterate the product, and sort of grab a share of the online learning market that's out there. So that's Scribbler.com. My company is Muchos Media. My name is Stefan Richter, and I'll take any questions if there are any. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Any points from the panel?
What is the kind of key? You know, who's the ideal user? What's the profile of the? Where do you think the bulk is going to your beachhead thing?
Actually, there's a lot of companies who are using it for all sorts of different stuff, but I mean, the online learning market is clearly the main driver. There's about four or five startups actually waiting now to implement it.
So is that in an education, like schools or?
Yes, for example, the company I had listed there, they do homework help for students in the US with teachers based in India. There are schools interested. I had interest from some universities. So sometimes it's a standalone kind of tool that they use it. And sometimes it's just an addition to a wider existing kind of e-learning system that they might have in place. But yeah, the interest is from all sorts of different.
But do you think you could provoke some of the same kind of interest such that you could kind of cover a certain market, you know, kind of go wide so that you could really claim a space, or are you just going to let all ducks fly everywhere they go?
I think at the moment I have to react to what the customers are knocking on my door. I have done no marketing whatsoever. So I'm, you know, it's just myself doing it, so I'm just doing what I can at the moment.
So how many users do you have?
On the free version, as I said, there's about 500 sessions a day going at the moment. On the paid front, it's a few less.
My only thought is that you're doing consulting projects on the side. If you could find, and you're working, you've got a waiting list of kind of startups and schools. If you could find one client that actually can pay, that you could effectively use the product to consult them with, but use that as product development, that might be a little bit more efficient way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I have paying customers, but it's not enough, really. There's not enough of them at the moment. So that's why I'm here, really.
Final points.
Why did you go for the online learning market? What was special about that?
I basically pushed the tool out there, and those were the kind of customers that came back and said, oh, we like that. That's kind of the missing piece that we're not having at the moment. The real-time aspect is it that they like, so that people can actually collaborate with each other on the same page in real time, rather than sort of making a change like in Google Docs and then come back and see that change. But here it all happens right away, and there's not many tools out there that let you do that, and especially that you take that tool and put it into your website.
Okay, thank you very much, Scribbler.
Thank you.